How can a woman be pregnant and not know that she is pregnant? Wow, this is unbelievable. Yes, I know that it is what some women have experienced or are experiencing right now. It's called a cryptic pregnancy. Wow, it's just so unbelievable. A cryptic pregnancy is when you don't know you are pregnant. Can you imagine that? And in most cases, you realize you are pregnant around 20 weeks into the pregnancy. And for some persons, they may only realize they are pregnant because labor begins. I can only imagine the shock that I'm going into labor, not knowing that you are pregnant. Wow. Most people realize they are pregnant somewhere between 4 to 12 weeks of pregnancy. This could be because they have symptoms of pregnancy or because they missed their period. But in most cases, in cryptic pregnancy, they feel normal. Some persons still see their monthly flows, and there is no sign or symptoms of pregnancy. And that could be because they have never been pregnant before. And because a positive result on the pregnancy test didn't confirm that they were pregnant. But with a cryptic pregnancy, nothing triggers a person to believe that they are pregnant. This could be because they don't have symptoms of pregnancy, or they mistake the symptoms of pregnancy to be a virus, or fever, just mere fever, malaria, or their pregnancy test result was wrong. Sometimes this result comes out invalid or negative. I can only imagine the shock of going into labor, not knowing that, well, anyone can have a cryptic pregnancy. Anybody. You may be asking, is it because they have an illness or something? No, it can happen to anybody. If you have never been pregnant before, you are less likely to know what it feels to be pregnant or what it feels like to be pregnant. This means a pregnancy could go unnoticed for long. And I think cryptic pregnancy is not common, because studies suggest that about 1 in 475 pregnancies go unnoticed until about 20 weeks gestation, or about 1 in 2,500 pregnancies go unnoticed until delivery. So you may want to ask, will a cryptic pregnancy show on a pregnancy test? Let me give us an instance. When I was in secondary school, a shocking incident happened. One of our senior students in SS1 gave birth in the hostel. I attended a boarding house. She gave birth in the hostel. It was shocking. It was a shocking sight. Sincerely, I could not believe how. Okay, yes, we're familiar with students getting pregnant in school, but giving birth in the hostel was something we have never heard of. And knowing that she wasn't aware that she was pregnant, it was unbelievable. Why? How wouldn't she know that she was pregnant? And then I believe the shock of going into labor made her throw the baby off the fence. Well, all about that, it was really, really shocking. And so I never knew it was called cryptic pregnancy until I found out that it was called, that something like that was possible, which is cryptic pregnancy. So you should still get a positive pregnancy test with a cryptic pregnancy. However, using an at-home pregnancy test correctly is the only way to get an accurate test result. And if you don't use it correctly, you may get a false negative or invalid test results. So be sure to follow the guides and the instructions on the package, and wait several days after you missed your period to take an at-home test. So the aim of this video is to guide us on the signs of cryptic pregnancy, so you don't have to go through the shock of not being prepared for a baby, or the shock of going into labor unknown. People with a cryptic pregnancy have the same symptoms as a normal pregnancy. That you must note. The key difference is that the pregnant person doesn't realize pregnancy is causing these symptoms. For example, they may think they are nauseous from eating a certain food, or that they are tired because they need to sleep more. And all of this happened because you have never had a baby before, or you have never been pregnant before. Other symptoms of cryptic pregnancy may include missed periods, spotting or light bleeding, of which you can mistake for your period, false negative pregnancy test results, or invalid test results. When you notice all of this or some of these things, I advise that you should see a doctor. You should see a doctor so you can, instead of having the at-home urine test, you can as well go to the hospital to get a blood test, okay, to confirm if you are pregnant or not, just to avoid the shock. So, and weight gain or swollen belly. In cryptic pregnancy, you don't have that swollen belly, like the normal pregnancy, but there is a change that you can notice. Some people may not notice they have gained weight due to being pregnant, or they might attribute an unusual bloated belly to eating a certain food. The fetal movement. Most people don't feel the fetus move until about halfway through pregnancy. If you have an anterior placenta, the placentas in the front of your belly, this can make it harder to feel kicks. In the case of a cryptic pregnancy, this could be why you don't realize you're pregnant. Not knowing symptoms of pregnancy. If you're very young or have developmental disabilities, you may be unaware of common signs of pregnancy. Yes, like missed period, tender breast, or the nausea. So you might want to ask, how long does a cryptic pregnancy last? Well, for most people, they realize they're pregnant about 20 weeks into the pregnancy. However, a person can be unaware that they are pregnant during the entire 40 weeks. There have been cases where people go through the emergency room with pelvic pain only to discover that they are in labor. So, not knowing you're pregnant is a real condition, a very big one. The best thing you can do if you are sexually active is to know the signs of pregnancy and get a pregnancy test from a healthcare provider. If you have any suspicions of pregnancy, getting regular prenatal care is important for the health and safety of you and the baby.